Well, the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, has said 13 states and 50 communities, mostly in the north, are likely to witness heavy rainfall that may lead to flooding between September the 13th, and of course September the 17th. NEMA's Lagos Territorial Coordinator, Mr. Ibrahim Farinloye, announced these in a statement yesterday. He listed the states and communities to include Kano, with communities like Sumaila and Kuchi likely to be affected. He also said Kebbi State, with communities like Arugungu, Katsina State with Bindawa, Jibia, Keita, and Katsina communities likely to be affected. Other states, he said, are Niger State with Kutangora, Mashegu, and New Busa communities, as well as Kwara State, will also be affected. Just to let you know, this is Matters on Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. A very big welcome to you. Today is the 14th day in the month of September 2023. And of course, again, I say welcome. My name is Jude Ikami Jude. I do this every weekday between 1 and 3 p.m. Okay, we'll discuss important issues, like important matters in Nigeria, in the polity, and by extension around Africa and the world. Okay, yeah, if you don't mind. So, hey, this is where we're going to be discussing those technical issues, so we can, of course, bring you up to speed. Okay, so all I ask you to do for me is stay there and let's have a big one together again today. I have the pleasure of having in the studio a former commissioner of police, CP Chooks. Of course, if you are an ardent listener of this show, a follower of this show, you should understand that a day like this, I always have the CP around in the studio. Yes, and he is just right here with me. CP, a very beautiful afternoon to you.
Good afternoon to you too and to the listeners.
Welcome on board.
Thank you.
Okay, in case you were listening, in case you can hear my voice, I want to also let you know that you can join the conversation. You can join the conversation on YouTube. Okay? Yeah. YouTube, Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. That's on YouTube. VOP 90.3 FM on YouTube. And then we have our WhatsApp number, functioning. Just go there and dial the number on your phone. Pick up your phone rather and dial the number 0700 903 903 903. That's the number again, 0700 903 9039. That's our WhatsApp number. Then later on, you have the opportunity to call into the studio to share your opinion. Yeah, of course, that number is 0700 903 903 903. Yeah, that's the number. 0700 903 903 903. Yeah. Okay, let's move quickly. CP, but I don't know. I listened to, a conversation you had earlier, during the world news. And Nobel laureate Wole Soyinka said something. He said Peter Obi did not win, the election, but wants to use mandate. This is what Soyinka said recently. He said Peter Obi did not win the election, but wants to use force of lies to steal Tinubu's mandate. And I heard your response, and I want to ask why you chose to respond that way. CP, why?
Well, it's rather unfortunate that a respected, and highly regarded elder statesman who is cerebral and a professor in the person of Wole Soyinka, will come out to begin to berate a particular candidate in the person of Peter Obi. As a political observer and analyst, like I've always maintained, I am not in any political party, and I'm not a card-carrying member of any of the parties. I try as much as possible to be very objective. That statement from Professor Wole Soyinka is very unfortunate and sad, to say the least. What is the stake of Wole Soyinka to say things that you have just reeled out? I mean, he claims he's not a politician. He's an academic. And I mean, he should face, he's supposed to be an emeritus professor. He's no longer active in the sense that at his age, he's no longer teaching. I mean, how can you go to international conference or workshop or seminar, as the case may be, and single out a particular candidate and begin to, condemn him and expose him to ridicule? It is not fair. As far as I am concerned, his action is xenophobic.
Really?
Of course. Because if the man were to be from the other side, or himself were to be from that side, I don't think he would have done what he did. Okay, the second question is Obi the only contestant against the incumbent president? The answer is capital no. Why is he not saying anything about the PDP candidate, who also is laying claims to the mandate that he also won, and that he was shortchanged in the last electoral process? It is not only Obi that went to the petition tribunal or petition court, the presidential election tribunal or electoral court. Tinubu also went. Even APM went. Why is he singling out this particular candidate and using very derogatory, appellations to describe the man? What has the man done to him for him to use those descriptions against the person of Peter Obi? It is very, very unfair and unfortunate. The thing has terribly tribalistic undertone. That's just the message I got from it. And for people like us who are very objective, we cannot see, we try to call a spade. We cannot see people using position of respect that is accorded them in the society to begin to mislead the larger public and even people across the globe. You now say the man is telling lies. Who are you? You are not competent to say a thing like that. Are you the court? Are you in any of the political party? Or have you turned yourself to spokesperson for the political party? It's rather unfortunate. So that is why I am sounding the way I do. And I have absolutely no apologies. And will stand my ground to even say more when it comes to this particular aspect or this issue.
One thing is the statement, the word he used. He said false, of lies. He said Peter Obi did not win the election, but you were trying to force a lie on Nigerians. Force a lie. That's the word lie. Like we're all looking at it. Why he chose to say, he's a Nobel laureate.
Yes.
All right. And so we're trying to look at it, dissect what he means by lies. Lies. Is it lies that, okay, the election wasn't marred with irregularities? Is it lies that, all of these things are played out before the election, during and after?
Of course.
So when he said lies, we're forced to ask why he's using that word lies. I mean, lie.
You see,
What is a lie all about?
That calls for the man needs to be clinically examined, because it's like age is really telling on him. You know, he has been a human rights activist for years.
But don't you think that's too harsh?
No, what I'm saying is that it appears the man does not know what he's saying anymore. You know, maybe, do I use the word that he's getting senile, or that Alzheimer is setting in, where he's mixing words and not really meaning what he is saying? Because it appears that is what is playing out now. He needs a clinical examination. Let us know his state of health. He shouldn't be allowed or be invited in forums like that for him to come and talk absolute rubbish and nonsense. I think if some of those organizers of international foray like that should know what they are doing, they have to look at the people they bring to such places to come and talk. You don't bring somebody because he has been a Nobel laureate and that he has been a professor in literature and English, then you just bring him. Well, what he has said in
but he is a respected individual.
Well, age. Look, you see, age is no respecter of person or persons. There's a point you get to. Some are still sound. I'll give it to people like Edwin Clark in his 90s. He's still coordinated, but it's not all of them. It's a gift from God. Look at even Akintola Williams, who just passed on.
The late Akintola Williams.
They're doing in accounting, the first chartered accountant in Nigeria and possibly in Africa. Even at 100 plus, he was still making sense when he talked. Look at somebody who had the best of health care in the person of Ronald Reagan. By the time he got to the age of 93, Alzheimer had taken him over completely. Up to the wife, he was no longer recognizing. If you're talking of A, he was talking of B. So it appears the same thing is gradually setting in for Wole Soyinka. Some people suffer it as early as 85, 86, 87. So I won't be surprised if that is what is affecting them.
No, but these are your thoughts.
Exactly.
Your personal thoughts.
No, that's my
But that might not be
thought.
true.
Well, as time will tell.
He is sharing his own opinion.
No. That opinion there's no nexus between what he went for and the opinion he was sharing. He went for a conference that is focused on something else that didn't give him space to begin to narrow to a particular individual and the political party he comes from. Is that what he went for in South Africa? I don't think so. Go and cross-check. He went for something else and left what he went there for and began to lambast a presidential candidate of a political party. And I still maintain, if the tide were to be on the other side, that the man is from his geopolitical region, will he do what he has just done? I believe the answer would be capital N-O.
You know, when asked when asked to comment on his previous statement on the Labour Party vice presidential candidate, Dati Baba Ahmed, after the general election, Obi said he was committed to the truth. Now, let's go down to this. He said in 1965, when he stormed the radio station in Ibadan, he was forced with facts and not relying on third-hand accounts regarding the 1965 regional election. He further accused the Labour Party of infiltrating, the organized labor movement in the build-up to the 2023 election. Organized labor movement, maybe you should help us understand what he's talking about here.
What he's talking about is that organized labor movement metamorphosed into the Labour Party. What is Soyinka's interest? Is he a stakeholder? Is he a member of the organized labor that transmuted or transformed into Labour Party? He's not part of them. So whatever, he's not even a politician. He's not carrying membership of any card of any of the political parties, registered political parties. So why would he be targeting a particular candidate and the party he comes from? I have been asking this question times without number, and I've not really gotten an answer to that. Somebody like Atiku Abubakar of the PDP is there. He's also claiming that he won the election and that he wants to recover his mandate, his stolen mandate. Why did he not pick on Atiku Abubakar? If we may broaden the argument.
Okay.
So you can see that xenophobia in him is just being expressed. Otherwise, if he has nothing to offer in terms of political analysis, he should keep quiet. I am not saying this that I don't have respect for elders. But when the elders are wrong, we have to draw it to their attention that they should sit down and keep quiet. If you are going for something, face what you have gone for and leave the political actors to do their things. If you are interested, why would you not take party membership, look for a position, then tell us, declare that you're a member of this political party. Then we will know where you're coming from. You now act as if you are a paid agent, a spoiler who has come out to target a particular candidate. What is the offense of the candidate? His offense is where he comes from? Or because of his language, or what? He needs to come out plain so that we will know where he's coming from. I don't belong to any party. I try to be very objective, but that's the way I see it. That's why I'm analyzing along that line. Why Obi? Why Obi? Everything, okay. That means if two people fight in the market.
And you recall, Obi paid him a visit, visited his home,
yes,
before the election.
He did.
I think, right?
He did. And, you know that time, the obedience we are hurting. That the man had crossed the red line. So they were like pouring innuendos and vituperations on him. I don't want to comment further on that. Let it not seem as if I'm giving kudos to what they did to him. Obi looked at the whole thing and decided to go to him as an elder, to visit him as an elder statesman. And maybe certainly put an apology on behalf of the obedience. Because you see, when you are leading a political party or a movement, in as much as you are the leader of the party, there's a limit that you can control your followers. You cannot gag them. We are not talking of authoritarian, establishment or authoritarian setup. We are talking of democratic setting where people are free to express their views. So long as, and it's encouraged, so long as they are not violent and they are not inciting hate and all that. So there is no connection or nexus that it is Obi that called them and say, begin to lambast this one, insult this other person. There is no connection. There is no evidence to that effect. So why is it that once they are doing that, you turn around and say it's Obi? Okay, now, this Reno Omokri, who has been of the People's Democratic Party, see how he has been raining abuses on Obi and the followers, calling them all sorts of names, the obedience. Now, Omokri has been doing all this. Soyinka will not see that one. He's towing the same line. Omokri is towing against the same Obi. Then you ask yourself, is there any person or group of persons in Labour who had come out to begin to attack either Mr. President or attack the presidential candidate of the PDP in the person of Atiku Abubakar? The answer is capital no. So why don't we face the facts as they are and play politics, in such a way that it will not, meanings will not be given to it. I mean, we are supposed to have gone beyond playing politics on basis of religion and tribe. But unfortunately, that is exactly what has been playing out, one way or the other. So, in democracy, the beauty of democracy is such that people should feel free to express their opinions. It's enshrined in the Constitution, in their fundamental rights. So if they say that, you turn around and say it's the leader of the party that has told them to say that. It's very, very unfortunate and unfair.
Well, just like you mentioned, some other persons also feel that at this point in time, Soyinka wouldn't have come out to say what he's saying now. That is kind of instigating some level of violence, amongst the youth. Why am I saying this? I love quoting people. He said, I can say categorically that Peter Obi's party came third, not even second. And the leadership knew it, but they want to do what we call in Yoruba, Bajue, if I'm right. That is force of lies, he said. Now, the Nobel laureate also accused the LP leadership of attempting to mobilize youth or young people to protest against the outcome of the election on the banner of lies and deceit. At this point in time, where we're trying to, put things together and move on. And we have someone who is so respected coming out to say something like this. And some persons feel, no, he he's not actually supposed to say something like that at this point in time. Why some have said, well, it's just his own opinion. Well, maybe whether he feel he's speaking for the All Progressives Congress or for himself, that is his own opinion and you cannot do anything about it.
Well, that is why the expressions I've been given here is my own opinion too. Because first and foremost, like I've always maintained, I'm not a member of any political party. I'm not part of them. So I try as much as I can to be very objective. I believe so much in equity, fairness, and justice. So if, even if the youth or the masses decides to come out to protest, there's nothing wrong in that. They are covered by the law. It is their rights to do that. But because of the way the security situation is, that is why a lot of well-meaning Nigerians have been advising them to shelve that, that plan for protests, knowing fully well that once they do that, some miscreants and hoodlums may likely hijack it, and it will go out of hand. So I am of the school of thought that has always asked that whoever feels aggrieved should follow the due process and the rule of law by going to the court to pursue whichever argument they have, not coming out to do an open protest in public places. Because of the security situation, that is just my reason for suggesting that. But if, it's one man's voice, it's my own lone voice. I cannot go to stop them if they mobilize and decide to enter the street. But I have always been against anything violence. Because at the end of the day, the way it starts is not the way it ends. Once there is protest and it turns violent, what you get at the end of such protests is usually carnage. There will be massive destruction of properties, and in some cases too, lives. And some of those properties are properties that are built over years and time for the benefit of the public and the masses. So why will you, out of anger, within a few days or hours, bring those things to ruins and get them burned to ashes? That's why, when people get bitter and feel hot, we try to douse it by advising. Don't go that direction. Just take it easy. Follow the self-help will not work out. Follow the due process of law. And, whatever the court says at the end of the day, so be it. And if you have done that in the lower court, you are not satisfied, do your appeal. You have window to do that.
As regards mobilizing, people, especially the youths, according to Wole Soyinka, he said that the Labour Party, is ready to send some of the hardliners, young, proud people into the street to demonstrate. He said he is also ready to be among such demonstrators, but only on the banner of truth, not on lies and deceit. Again, he said the Labour Party wanted the same thing, referring to 2011 post-election violence to happen on the basis of a lie. And according to him, he said we found out, according to him, that is the vice presidential candidate of the Labour Party on television, boasting, insisting, threatening, and trying to intimidate both the judiciary and the rest. What kind of government will result from that kind of conduct? In addition, they did not know this, but they were being used. Now, do you think Soyinka at this point is being tribalistic? Like you think he's being tribalistic? Because whatever happens in Nigeria now, people want to say this is this person's tribe. He's talking from this standpoint. You think he's being tribalistic or just saying the obvious?
He's not saying any obvious. It's not. His analysis has not been fair to the persons he has made reference to, and that is Obi and Dati Ahmed. He has not been fair to them by that statement. Why did he end up there? Why didn't he go into People's Democratic Party candidates, both the presidential candidate and his own running mate? Why should it be the Labour candidate and his party and his running mate? If you see, when people are making analysis, they need to be very reasonable in the line they are towing, because it's like the Igbo saying that sometimes you just throw stones anyhow, and some will be tempted to throw stone into the market. You don't know who the stone will land on the head. It could even be your father or your mother or your relation. So when he's making such statement, he should weigh the consequences of the statement he's making. Because some people, it's as if the man, like I said, or the two of them, are from the geopolitical region where he comes from, he will not make that statement. It's very likely he will not make that statement. So, since he's not part of the players, the political chess players, let him just stand like an observer, and if he feels there are certain things that are wrong, let him be objective about it and try as much as he can to conceal that xenophobic in him. I think that should be the right message for the professor. Just like I said, on my personal opinion, I think age is really having some effect on the man.
Now, before we delve deep into that, let's get to the Supreme Court.
Yes, yes.
Or maybe the Supreme Court, before the Supreme Court, it looks like the case has left Nigeria, the presidential issue. It has left Nigeria to the US,
Yes.
to Chicago.
Yes.
And with what is playing out now, how would you describe what the outcome might likely be? What you envisage, what you think might happen.
It's too early.
Okay.
It's too early to get to that. Whatever is playing out in
You know
US,
why? Because there are two certificates.
yes.
Two. And I also saw a certain one that has that carries a female gender
Okay.
in it, and all of these is just giving us more questions to ask and a whole lot. We really don't know.
That is why I say it's better we fold our hands and watch the thing play itself out. Let us see what the outcome will be in the court in US. And I mean, nobody should tell the person pursuing the case that what he's doing is inappropriate, because being an interested party, he will have to look for every legal means available to be sure that he removes any obstacle before him. So he is interested in reclaiming his mandate too, in quotes. So nobody should come out to tell him that what he's doing is inappropriate. No. And it depends on the argument from the learned counsels on the two sides. Let them battle it out, and whatever is the outcome at the end of the day, we'll take it up from there.
So if the outcome doesn't actually favor, for instance, if I said, in quote, if it doesn't favor President Tinubu, then how are we going to describe the judgment gotten back here at home?
Well, the judgment has already been given, and I'm sure by now they would have done their appeal, because they have about 14 days to do that before the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court, I know, have about 60 days to review whatever had been done by the Presidential Election Petition Court or Petition Tribunal. So I'm sure one way or the other, whatever is the outcome in US may be presented to the Supreme Court. So they will look at it hand in hand or in pari passu with the ruling of the Presidential Election Petition Court before they give us their own final ruling. So let us first see what America will give us. Then we'll now see how the Supreme Court will look at that vis-a-vis what they have before them.
Talking about the Supreme Court, the Diaspora Action for Democracy in Africa, DADA, yesterday, declared that the decision of the appeal court to uphold the results of the 2023 presidential election has disappointed many Nigerians. It said there were enough grounds for the court to have voided the outcome of the poll. The body, in a statement by one Mr. Uche Martins, noted that reports of alleged irregularities and non-conformity to the 2022 Electoral Act by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, were regrettable and deeply troubling. Now, the big deal is this group is saying that they have hope in the Supreme Court. It's a diaspora group. They're saying they have hope in the Supreme Court. And the trend in Nigeria. Your younger brother wouldn't want to say this, and the elder brother says this in the same family. considering how we even got where we are to this point. So now, some persons feel, okay, I think the Supreme Court might give us
something different.
Something different. Now, CP, do you think that the Supreme Court will give Nigerians something different?
I will not want to say my opinion on that for now. Let us have patience. Let them do the review. And then at the end of the day, let them come out with their ruling. That is the time we can have opinions as to what the outcome, the final outcome will be. In as much as whatever is the opinion will not change anything. But it is at that point in time that I know a lot of people, both in Nigeria and outside the country, will come up with whatever arguments they have. Like as we sit, I know the direction the thing will go, but it's too early to begin to dissect that.
Because when I get to open up the studio lines anytime soon, I would also ask Nigerians. You hear them speak, if what their hope is like when it comes to the Supreme Court. Maybe the Supreme Court is going to give something different. Because let's get back to pre-judgment. Everyone had envisaged that last now it will be a rerun, possibility of having a rerun in the country, so that everyone will be at peace. Let's do it amicably, openly and glaringly. I mean, let everyone just partake in the process. But right now, what we got is quite different, and I feel that when we open up the studio lines, we'll hear from listeners, all right? But they are saying that there is hope in the Supreme Court. Let me put that aside. Something happened not quite long. I got an information, very, very, I don't know how to put this information. A pastor of Deeper Life Bible Church, in Nnewi 84 Nobi Road, in Nnewi, Anambra State, Vintus Chinye Rugo, whatever it is, I don't know how to pronounce her name, has resigned as the district pastor of the church on account of an apparent support of the general superintendent and head of the church, William Kumuyi, for the government of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, exemplified by recent comments on the administration. Like, he has decided to resign because Tinubu made a statement that favors Tinubu.
Kumuyi.
Sorry, Kumuyi made. Of course, Kumuyi made a statement that favors Tinubu.
Okay.
You remember what Kumuyi said? That people should just relax. That the government, this government, to favor Nigerians. I think I'll look for that particular statement and say it emphatically. But then, now someone is resigning. The pastor of a church is resigning because of that statement. Made by the general superintendent. Has it gotten to this, really, in this country?
It's really unfortunate that politics is now gradually creeping into religion, which is not supposed to be. Politics generally, like I have always maintained, have no business with either tribe, religion, or region. But unfortunately, you come to find out that the key players are using it to play on the minds of the people vis-a-vis the voters, maybe to win the election. It's a very sad development, and it's very, very unfortunate. I thought with the extent of development we have in democracy, that people should look at, profile the candidates, look at their background, look at the stuff they are made of, look at their pedigree, what they have to offer, and what you believe they will bring on board that will grow the economy and take the people out of poverty, even if it is not completely, but at least let people breathe. These are the areas we look at,
especially the poor.
Exactly. But for people, or for some, prominent persons to begin to reduce themselves to the level of bringing in tribe and using religion, it's a very negative development. At this point in time, in 21st century, the answer is supposed to be a no for such. And that is why when we look back in 1993, though that was about 30 years back, between NRC, the defunct NRC, and the defunct SDP, when Abiola MKO, late of blessed memory, ran on the ticket of SDP, he ran with Baba Gana Kingibe as his running mate, and he won squarely in the annulled June 12th election. Then, Nigerians never looked at anything tribe. They did not look at anything religion. And there was absolutely no violence. Absolutely none. So how come 30 years after, we have gone back to things that caused mayhem in the First Republic? Because in 1965 Western elections, where they had this Operation Wete and all the things between Akintola, NDC then, and the Action Group, though Papa Awolowo was then in prison in Calabar. It was a consequence of that made the Kake boys jump out on 15th of January 1966 to take over the government. Because the thing was taking a different dimension. Now, if you look at 1966 to this time, we are talking of 50-something years back. Almost 57 years back. Similar scenario is gradually trying to play itself out again.
Sibi, let's hear, what this pastor said. Is biting hard for me because church is getting involved. So many times when clerics speak about, as regards democratic issues in Nigeria, some persons are really not okay with it. They feel these people should just be silent and pray for the country, instead of coming out to say, like I remember the last statement made by the General Overseer of the Redeemed Christian Church of God. Brought about several arguments on the internet and that. Now, let's put that aside. Let me read out what he said, the pastor, in his resignation letter. He said he was resigning from his pastoral assignment following a viral video of the superintendent of the church delving into politics.
Exactly.
By supporting the Tinubu administration that he claimed has brought hardship on Nigerians. So the church, let's look at it again. The church delving into political activities. Is it really wrong for, objectively speaking now, let's look at it. Is it really wrong for clerics to advise or to speak on national matters? Is it really very, very wrong? Some people consider them as the fathers, spiritual fathers, who may feel, okay, why not? They should be able to speak about this, touch on this, touch on this. But some people feel it shouldn't be like that. CP, what's your opinion on this?
No, the thing is this. They are human and they are Nigerians. So they are free to talk on general issues, on the economy, on the polity, and all that. But they should not be seen to be partisan. That's the thin line dividing the fact and issue. They shouldn't be seen to be partisan. They should be seen to be very fair and just. Speak the truth the way it is. Talk of justice for the people. Talk of equity. That is what is expected of people in the pulpit who are clergies. And even those who are Muslim clerics. It is not supposed to be a place you use the pulpit to begin to be partisan. I don't think it is appropriate. And that is why...
And some people feel it will break the church.
That's what I'm saying. That is why you even look at the traditional institution. You hardly see any of those Obas or MS or even the Sultan of Sokoto saying anything about any political party. They only look at the candidates when they come, they pray, they receive them, pray for them, bless them, and wish them well. So that is what is expected of those clerics. You don't come out wholly as if you are now a member of any of the political parties. It doesn't augur well. That is why one of those pastors had to tender in his paper that is no longer part of it, because the thing has now deviated from the core principles and values of whatever the church is talking about.
All right. Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. Well, a whole lot of persons joining us quickly. Thank you so very, very much. And hey, we're talking about, issues in our country. But you see, for someone to resign, a pastor, not just a worker in a factory, this is... it has to do with spiritual matters.
Exactly.
For a pastor to now leave the pulpit, as if he wasn't called in the first place, or he wasn't, I don't know who called who now. As if he wasn't there before, leaving the pulpit because of a mere statement made by a superintendent. I mean, someone who is considered as the father of the church. Then, doesn't it show how much Nigeria is, in quote, not really together? I mean, this rod of disunity that is just walking around, creeping around, this dust of conflict amongst Nigerians, among, what do we call that now? Churches, ethnic groups, even in the mosque, I believe. So how do we now foster unity amongst Nigerians, the way we're going? I'm asking this question because look at your response from what Wole Soyinka said, see the way we drove it down, and to where we are now. It all boils down to unity. If you look at it very well, this pastor who resigned is an Igbo man.
Yes.
The general overseer.
From the southwest.
Do you see it now? So that's why I'm now asking CP, help us look at it. How do we now, bring back this unity amongst us? Because politicians are really, 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 they are doing really, I mean, should I say good or bad now to us? I mean, they are tearing the people apart. where I'm going to is, how do we gather these things together again and have one Nigeria? I remember you remember one Nigeria then,
For us to achieve unity means that people should fear God first and foremost. And how do you express that you have God in you and you fear him? You look at whatever that is surrounding you. They are all ephemeral. They are not there forever. Nobody is going to live here forever. The world is not our home. We are just like mere passengers as mortals. We come, we play our part just like the Shakespeare had said in most of the novels he wrote. And then you take your exit. The upcoming generations will continue from wherever you have stopped. But what counts most is the legacy you have left behind. Your footprints on the sands of time. Where am I going to? If you want unity in Nigeria, there should be that truth in all of us. There should be equity. There should be fairness. And there should be justice. And we have to not only preach it, we have to practice it. That's where you get the unity. Otherwise, if you are sectional, you are parochial, you are discriminatory, and you don't see anything good in some other person or persons because of their tribe and because of their religion, then you're not fostering unity. Okay, let me even give you one instance. A situation where people over time, over years, have been encouraging enterprise, industry, and investments. Then certain Nigerians from a particular geopolitical zone who are known to be wide travelers have been to various parts of the country, worked hard, made money, acquired properties, and invested. Then suddenly you are coming to tell them that they are very foolish, that they should go back to where they are coming from. And then some people who call themselves leaders will hear that and keep quiet. Is that portending anything unity? It is not. Because I have expected them, if they are reasonable, to condemn such statements. I say, no, you don't say that. Why are we one Nigeria, one nation, one destiny? What you should be preaching is peace. I mean, you should make the environment conducive for people to lawfully and peacefully conduct their businesses. That's the only way you can grow investments and you can foster unity. If this man is good in selling onions, potatoes, and tomatoes, you need to encourage him. If he started with one store in mile 12 and today he has 20 stores, you don't look at where he comes from or the religion he belongs to. So long as he's a Nigerian. And what he's bringing down to mile 12 has engaged a lot of people and have been putting food in the table of so many people, irrespective of the tribe or religion they come from. That is what we mean that engenders unity and oneness. It's not when people, you now leave what is on ground and then begin to, because of political reasons, you begin to bring divisive tendencies. And then you begin to say statements we have not been hearing sometimes, that this one is not part of us, he should go. Go to where? Whatever property he has acquired, did he steal it? Did he take it by force? You're now looking for ways to either collect the property by force from such person. Yet you are all Nigerians. Is that in any way portending unity? So we need to be honest to ourselves and fear God and face the truth. If somebody is successful, you should be happy for him, irrespective of where he comes from. Because, what goes around comes around. The setting is such that people should live freely in any part of the country and do their investments in those parts. So long as they have not violated the law, they have genuinely made their money and do their investments.
I've listened to several arguments as regards this. Closely related to this thing you're saying is this question I want to ask you.
Go ahead.
You are from the Southeast.
Yes, I am.
I've heard several arguments amongst the Southeasterners as regards this.
Yes.
If I ask you now, you will tell me presidency is not a big deal to the Indigbos, right?
Yes.
There was a time they clamored for it so much, and up until now, it's still the same thing.
Yes.
That presidency is not a big deal. If I ask you here, and you said it's not really a big deal at all.
Exactly.
Now, don't you think your people, the Southeast, should rather focus on their area of strength? What is their area of strength? Commerce.
So you mean those who are politicians should not go and play politics? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Now, what I'm saying is this. I listened to Femi Fani-Kayode.
Yes.
When he said, indeed, the Igbos are supposed to take over power. Let's try them with power, the presidency. But there are some persons who own power in this country that would never want Indigbos to get there. An Igbo man to come up to that level.
But that is true.
President. Yeah.
But that is true.
Okay, that's true.
Yes.
Okay, now you consider that as true. Now,
yes.
Since they don't want, some persons really don't want anyone from the South is to take over power in Nigeria.
Yes.
Some persons are now of the opinion that, hey, since it's like this now, why not come together and, focus on your area of strength, commerce. And that is what the country is lacking right now. That area alone is powerful enough to sort issues in the country economically. So why not focus on commerce?
Things don't go that way. You know why?
Why?
Those so-called power blocks or people that determine who will be president, are they God? Will they live forever? It's a face. Before you know it, they are phased out. They will all die. Naturally, they will die. And then God has a way of doing things. The ways of God is different from the ways of man. The day somebody from that part of the country will become president, will come, and he will get it on a platter of gold. Nigerians will beg him and say, please, come, let us see what you can do. So people should not say, because they are industrious, they are very enterprising, they are very hardworking, then they should forget politics. That's being discriminatory. It's being unfair on them. Those who have the flair for politicking can still try their best there. If they don't get it, so be it. It still does not stop those who are in industries, in agriculture, and in commerce to continue to do what they have been doing and have at least been very successful in those various areas. So, at the end of the day, I have this belief, and I always encourage people from the Southeast, that there is no way they'll be worse off. I'm sure maybe you've not been to the Southeast, or you may have been to the Southeast long time ago. Go to Southeast recently. In as much as they have serious security challenges, by the time you move across the southeast, although land-wise, apart from being landlocked, they don't have much of space. But you see the level they are operating. The poverty is not that bad in that part of the country. It has not degenerated to the extent of what we see in the social media, where people will swarm like bees, waiting to eat crumbs from one person who has just finished eating. For them, they are not sure of the next meal. It's not prevalent in the southeast. All these little things they do, they are trading, and their little farming and so on and so on, it sustains them. So for them, life is not all about do or die. That is why when I see some people condemning them as if they have committed offense just because one person came up and wanted to be a president and went into a political party and performed unexpectedly well, then it becomes an albatross for people from that part of the country. It's not fair. Whether at the end of the day he gets it or he does not get it, that's not the end of life. After all, with or without it, they have been surviving and they have been thriving. So for people to use that against them, maybe that one man from there had the guts to come out, is very unfortunate in 21st century and in this year and time of 2023. The thing has brought so much hatred by a pocket few who masquerade themselves as politicians. And I believe these ones are just mischievous elements who are inciting some people against people from that part of the country. It's a very sad development.
Let's come back home, CP. The
Yes.
information reaching me here says the leader of what's the name of this evangelical spiritual church of the Church of Primate Ayodele. Yes, Ayodele himself has advised the candidates of the People's Democratic Party
Okay.
and that of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, not to approach the Supreme Court to challenge the judgment of the presidential election.
What is his
petitions
business? Is he a
tribunal.
politician? Let him face the church.
We're talking about
Let him face the church and leave politicians to do their things. These are the people that are divisive in their tendencies. What is his business?
no,
Or is he seeking for relevance or what?
he is advising or urging
shouldn't advise
Atiku
them.
and Obi not to waste their money pursuing
It is none
an
of
appeal.
it is none of his business. We are talking of politics. We are in a democratic setting. Anybody that feels aggrieved can still go on and pursue. They have a reason. They are not stupid. They are not mad. They have their reason. They are doing it for posterity. If you don't know, they want a reference point in future. That so and so thing happened this time. We pursued it to the end, and this is what we got. That's what they call judicial precedence in law. Because you now base what has been given as judgments in similar cases in the past. You bring them forward and do your comparative analysis. That's exactly what is going on. So the people is advising, did they come to him to ask for money to pursue their goals? If they didn't come to him,
He's again. We're not talking.
they don't need his advice. Is he the only cleric? They don't need his advice. So he should face his faithfuls and preach the word of God from Genesis to Revelation.
If it comes out that Tinubu or the Supreme Court
Yes.
didn't favor Obi and Atiku,
so-
what would you now say?
So be it. So be it. We have seen things like that in the past. Life will continue now. Is that the end of the road? Life will continue. But clerics should know their limits. That's the message I'm trying to send. If he wants to become a politician, let him drop that toga that he's wearing as a cleric and come out and tell us that he's a member of this political party. He will register, collect the membership card, and dig it out there as a politician.
Well, according to him, he said going to the Supreme Court is like throwing a billion naira into the fire. He said, I have told them in my previous prophecy, the Emiloko symbol is powerful. I told them Tinubu was
business?
ready, but they didn't listen.
What is his business about the money they are throwing?
He said Peter Obi and Atiku cannot win at the Supreme Court. They should forget it and wait for another election.
That is not
They ought
the
to have learnt their lessons now, so they can prepare well for the next election.
That is none of his business. Whatever money they are spending, it's not a waste. We are advancing democracy and the rule of law. Let's see what the outcome will be. After all, the money is being paid to lawyers. So some lawyers' pockets are swelling. So what is the business of the cleric? Is it because he's not part of the learned councils that are either advocating or defending? So
are you saying you don't believe in prophecies?
No, that's a different subject matter. It has nothing to do with this.
But he is a prophet and he is professor. He said he has seen. He told Nigerians, even before the election, that Tinubu will win, and that's what happened. And look at where we are now. Is he saying that, hey, guys, don't go to any Supreme Court?
Leave that aspect. We know them. By their footprints, we have known them. Some of them are seeking for relevance. And see, is he the only one that is seeing vision or prophecies? There are many who see, they don't come out to the print or electronic media to begin to announce. You see, when you see people who are genuine, you know. Those ones don't make too much noise. In matters of national issues like this, when it is political, you see them, they won't come out. They can only come out when it borders on issues like natural disaster. They will foresee, they will forecast, and so on and so forth. Those are the areas we are interested in. Or it could be health issues like we had the COVID-19 and so on and so forth. Those are the areas we are more interested in.
But CP, in your own candid opinion,
yes,
objectively speaking,
yes,
and with the way Nigeria is right now,
yes, yes,
do you really think that Atiku and Obi should approach the Supreme Court?
But it's their fundamental human rights.
Of course, God.
Yes.
Yeah. If they do you see them coming out victorious?
We are not the court. We are not the Supreme
But
Court.
we are in Nigeria.
We are in Nigeria. We are watching what is playing out at the Supreme Court when they start doing their review. And at the end of the day, they give us their ruling. And life continues. By the time they give their ruling, they have set a precedence which will count in future. My own concern is the economic quagmire that we find ourselves today and how we are going to get out of it. If the government is really set to take advice from those that can help them in moving the country out of the present quagmire we find ourselves. And like I've always said in the past, we should focus our emphasis on production. And for you to get there, start first with security, so that those who are into agriculture can go in, do their farming, and feed the nation. Let's reduce our dependence on imports of food, of refined petroleum products, and so on and so forth. It's when you explore the non-oil sector, the solid minerals, and so on and so forth, and be transparent about it. Export them, you start earning foreign exchange. Your naira will stop cascading. And when you can feed yourselves, have enough reserve, and then export the cash crops and earn foreign exchange, do the same for oil, begin to refine your petroleum products here at home, and then export. Then we now know that we have started. Okay, you can imagine a country like South Korea. They don't have one cup of oil, but they've made so much from oil refining. They come to Nigeria, they take our crude, they pay us whatever price that is prevailing in the international market, take the crude home, refine the crude, and return it to us, and make so much money out of us and other countries. That's how, look at how industrialized South Korea is. These are the people that just came out from Second World War in 1945. Look at the extent of development in South Korea. Can't we emulate what they are doing there? You know, it's rather unfortunate. There was a time, a place like Malaysia, they were coming here to take our palm oil and palm produce down to that place, in as much as they even collected much of the seedlings from here, got to Malaysia, grew them. They are now largest producer of palm produce. We that had been known for palm produce, we are not even remembered again.
CP.
Yes.
But I would want to open up the studio lines and start reading these messages. I'm seeing there are a whole lot of messages waiting. But before I do that, permit me to just wrap up what this man said. And I want to bring out a question from there. As regards Ayodele, just finally, he said Atiku and Obi didn't listen when he warned them to get prepared for the election. As according to him, they did not show any sign of seriousness towards the presidential poll. He explained that God wanted to take power away from the ruling party, but the opposition parties were not serious. Therefore, they jeopardized their chances. Yes, they jeopardized their chances. He said, what Nigeria needs now is not the Supreme Court judgment. The opposition didn't listen at the very initial stage. What do we need? He said, we don't need the Supreme Court. Help us understand, CP. Because I'm asking this question because you are also a vast person. I mean, you're vast. What do we need at this point? That's one. Two, he went for that to say politics is more than what to play. It's a mixture of prayer, efforts, and struggle. Atiku and Obi were not ready for this election. God wanted to take power from the ruling party, but the opposition didn't take the right step. What were they supposed to do? That's the second question. What do we need now? What were they supposed to do to take power, in your own opinion, sir?
That's the opinion of the cleric. But that's not the reality on ground. You see, we have multiple party system. So it is expected that people with various interests should come out. You see, this idea or issue of zoning the presidency was just for purposes of political convenience. Even if it is one part of the country that is producing, it depends on how that part of the country presents. It's not even the part of the country that is presenting. It is the candidates themselves, how they bring out themselves and sell them, market themselves. So this one, the clergy or the cleric is doing this analysis that they could have taken power from the ruling party. I mean, on what basis? They have all gone for the election, and we all saw the way things went. And they went to court. We have seen the outcome of the court, and they're not satisfied. And then you're telling them not to go to the a court of higher jurisdiction, which is the apex court. I mean, he shouldn't have even gone to that direction. He should leave them. They're entitled to do that, which is covered by the law. If they get there and get it, fine, any of them. If they get there and lose it, so be it. That's the beauty of democracy. But we would have learned a lesson by the time we are done with the Supreme Court.
Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. CP, I want to say thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for talking to us this afternoon. But before you go, let's talk to Nigerians. We're voice of the people. Let's listen to the voice of the people this time around. Okay. In case you're just tuning in, my name is Jude. It can be Jude, and you're on to Matters on VOP FM. Okay. Thank you for joining us. Now, to send a message, it has to be via WhatsApp. Okay, and the number is 0700 903 9039. Can I take that again? 0700 903 9039. That's a WhatsApp number. Just send in your messages, and of course I'll get to read it. If only you're civil enough, yeah. Don't forget that. Now, if you want to call into the studio, just move away from your radio set, far away from your radio set, or please turn down the volume. Turn down the volume so we can hear each other. Okay? Now, once you've done that, you can now dial 0700 903 903 903. 0700 903 903 903. Okay? Yeah, that's just the number to call, and we'll take your call as quickly as possible. Before you call, think about being civil. Being civil, the way you say all of these things you want to say. Just take it easy, okay? That's what I always say to people. Be civil and take it easy. Thank you very much. Let's get to the phone lines now, quickly. Good afternoon.
Hello. Hello. This is Obi calling from Ikeja. Judy, agree to.
Welcome.
Yeah. For me, I want to advise Peter. This politics is playing off for gentleman, not trying to do things the way Nigerians do it. It will not work. If he doesn't play the politics of grab it, take it, kick it, I don't think he's just wasting time. This is what the language Nigerians understand. That is why Wale Soyinka is there saying what they see people there as a man that does not make trouble. And they try to force him to live their lifestyle. I don't think he can be like them. He's a gentleman. They can't change him. And that is why they are misunderstanding him. Because any day a man that does not talk, that does not get angry, start talking, my brother, that day you see there'll be trouble. That's my point. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you so very much for talking to us. Peter Obi should be... it's not about... It's really about violence. Is that what politics is all about?
It's unfortunate.
Okay. Let's go this way now. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, my man.
Yes.
Yanko.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, this is Adegboyo speaking from Ayetore Toyota.
Welcome.
Yeah, you are doing a good job there. I want to commend your efforts.
Thank you.
The issue on ground, shouldn't have brought any argument of misunderstanding. I think it is the right of either Atiku or B to approach court if they discover that what had the election was fraudulent to them. Then the next thing is to approach the court. Now that the appeal has given them what probably they didn't expect. The appeals court is there for them to approve. It is their constitutional right. So let us wait and see. Well, if they win, fine. If they don't win, everything will not come down. So it doesn't generate any misunderstanding at all. It's their right to approach the court to seek redress or anything they think has not been done very well. I think that is the point here. That is the point. The cleric has just given his own opinion. Probably because the PDP was divided in their house, and that was why they lost. Yes, everybody saw that. Obi got 6.1, Atiku got 6.2. If they have come together, they will have had 12 point something, and they will have beaten whoever they want to beat. But then it has come and it has gone. So let them approach the court or the first court they want. No problem.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you for calling. Well, they keep saying we keep going back to that same analogy. But it's all right. Let's just move on. Okay, let's take calls. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
This is Tony calling from Akota.
All right.
Yeah. You see, the clergyman that was saying that he's prophesying Let him write down now who will be the governor of Bayelsa State, Imo State, and Kogi State. Let him tell us now, so that we will know he's seeing road. He's seeing tomorrow. So
Okay.
he was in this country, and he knows what happened, and he's telling lies. He knows that he's in the pulpit. He don't talk lies like that. God is seeing everybody. He knows what happened in this country, the way the election went through. And he saw it. He saw even the viral video that was telling people to hijack it, smash it, run with it, or do anything. He saw it, and they are talking. Let him tell us who will be the governors of this state now that they have not done the election. When Adeleke, this man took him to tribunal, did he not lose in the tribunal? But he went further. He won. If Obi was declared winner or Atiku was declared winner, are they telling us that Tinubu will not go to court? What are they talking about? They should face their own business and leave others. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so very much for talking to us. Hello. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Mr. What's your name then? Judy.
Yeah. Good afternoon to you. I'm great. Doing fine.
This is my first time calling to your show. I do listen to you regularly.
Oh,
My name is Sebastian. Yeah, from New York City.
Sebastian. Good to have you join us.
Thank you, thank you. I want to appreciate your whole analysis here this morning, Mr. EP. You brought justice to the topic. I really appreciate it. With regards to the clergymen, the problem with Nigeria is prophecy, false hope of pastors trying to make the people live in room and not dealing with the reality of life. I just hope that one day Nigeria will come to a realization that politics and Christianity or religion does not really commingle in a way. So, CP, I really appreciate you. Keep telling truth to power, and God will uphold you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so
Sebastian.
much. Appreciate you, Sebastian. Yeah. All right. This person is saying, I just want to read this comment because this, I think I should also, it makes sense. He says, please, where are all those who sang, danced, and celebrated the students' loan? Has it become operational? If no, why the exorbitant increase in school fees here and there? I'm watching at these master strategists. Andrew from Ajao Estate. Okay. Let's do more calls now, quickly. Hello, good afternoon. Hello? Hello? Oh, so sorry about that. Please do call back if you can. Hello, good afternoon to you. Hello, good afternoon. Yes, good afternoon.
Good morning. Good morning, and I know it's afternoon or good afternoon.
All right.
Yeah, I really want to, first and foremost, I want to thank CP, who's in the studio with you. He did a great job in, tackling most of the questions. I'm surprised that you, Judea, for you with your level of education, for you to think about all these transactional prophecies. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Okay? God speaks to each and every one of us. And if those people who claim to be prophets and whatever it is, check their lives and look at things that they've been doing. It will amaze you that things that they do will even make not even go close to church. As I am right now, I've even said it, and I've told my friends, anybody who attends certain churches, they should not invite me because I will not come. Based on what the leadership of the church is doing. Justice is not one-sided. Justice is for all. When this happened during the election, a lot of people were injured, a lot of people were disenfranchised. Where were the pastors? Did I even see any of them? Speak up. None of them did that. But they will come now and say, God said this, God said that, God said that. I don't believe any of them. And truthfully, it's only Nigeria that they can survive. They cannot survive. Let them come overseas. If you're a pastor, you go to work. You don't depend on what do you call it? On offering. You don't depend on that. Because ain't nobody gonna give you none of that. But they will collect the little money that people have and then come up with all this God said and God did not say. Please, they should enter the house. They should enter the house. And as for Obi going to the court, it's his fundamental right. I am not saying that he's gonna win or whatever it is, but it is for us to know because our constitution was attacked. It is that are in the constitution that have been settled in 2019, and then they're coming now to change it again. Come on now, we should all learn. We should all learn. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so very much. I never wanted to interrupt him, CP. I just don't want to interrupt him.
I think he would have been calling from US.
Yes, of course.
Because of the timing, saying good morning.
Basically his idea of prophecy, Let's not talk about that. Let's just move on. Let's just move on seriously. Hello, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon to you. Yes, welcome.
I want to ask a question to your moderator. Hello, I don't know if you are hearing me.
Go ahead, please. We can hear you.
Okay. I want to ask a question here. In Nigeria in particular, are we practicing democracy or are we practicing corruption? That's the answer that I want to know the answer.
Okay. Thank you. Oh my God.
Whether we are practicing corruption or democracy, they are going in pari passu. Two of them are.
Oh, really?
Yes, they are moving hand in hand.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Let's do more calls now, okay? I think some of the messages here. This person is saying, Jeremy from Ejibo said, Professor Wole Soyinka is wrong for his statement against the Labour Party candidate, Peter Obi. Thank you. Okay. Back to phone lines. Hello?
Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hello, this is testimony.
All right.
Testimony.
Go ahead, please. We can hear you. Go ahead. Talk to us. Talk to us.
Okay. The prophecy is a tribal prophecy. It's a tribal prophecy. I've been following this prophecy for some time now. I've even gone to a church where a man of the same tribe said, I love this man because he's our tribe, and they want him to win. So I don't believe in those prophecies. All I believe is this. Obi should go to court. Whether he wins or not, it doesn't matter. So that after this one now, the next one, at least the judgment now can take us somewhere tomorrow. All these inconsistent judgments, it doesn't add up. So let us go now and know what they are saying about Abuja, the constitution and everything. So with this now, you can now build a bridge to the next level of our democracy.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so very much. More comments now. Derogatory remarks against anything Southeast can't top for now. It's coming right, left, center in Nigeria because of our overzealousness and emotional reactions to issues. We look onto people like CP to look inwards for our problems and stop condemning those making their rightfully observations and opinion. What are you trying to say? Okay, it's okay. Anyone. This person is saying, what has geopolitical shift got to do with Nigerian situation? Is the West greedy with resources they get from Africa? Are there a shift and resistance from Africa? Why are the people in Africa being shortchanged with resources? Who is a power player in these global resources gambling? Why is America interested in Nigerian presidency and election affairs? A big question. Do Nigerians really want to push back, particularly the future generations? Who will lead to make a difference, exclude the rugged criminals? Because Nigeria is hungry of a focused leader, not a... Oh, God. Oh, God. It's okay. It's okay. Thank you. Hello, good afternoon to you. Hello?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Hi.
Good afternoon. This is Albert Pasha from Chicago.
Yeah, Album Kasia. Good to have you join us today.
Thank you. Please permit my choice of words.
But let it be civil.
The grey fascist, the grey hair fascist. It's his word, not mine. I think old age is catching up with him. Okay? And we don't need such for now from him. He should allow the will of the people to prevail. Then coming to the primates, just let's go to the book of Google. Put in his name, put in probably he put in negative, not positive now. Google his name and see what he has said in the past and compare it with what is happening in the present. You see one thing with us. Karl Marx said something, that religion is the opium of the masses. I think we've gotten overdose of it. Religion has eaten into our bone marrow that we don't do any other thing without consulting religious leaders. One is this: in this part of the world, Western world, if you allow them to exist there, they will go broke on the first day because nobody listens. You know, the Western world brought religion to us, but we are not teaching them about religion. I read the Bible. I know of the prophet of the old, what happened during their time. Bring it to the forward today. Are the same thing happening? No. The answer is no. What I think they are doing is transnational prophecy. What suits them, the narrative that concerns, they might look around what is happening and predict what might come out of it and use it as a prophecy. I dare challenge any of them to tell me what will happen next in Nigeria. Right? The poverty we are in today, why didn't they see it yesterday and say it to the authority? They didn't do that. But today, all of them wants to catch out. Right? Whatever that narrative that suits them is what they will try with. But as for people to be going court, for me, is his fundamental human right. Nobody should deny him that. Nobody is paying for it. It's his money. It's
all right.
Money. So,
thank you.
Thank you very much for the good work you're doing and your guests in the house.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you too.
Yeah. Hello, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Kame.
Good afternoon.
God bless you and the CP. I've been listening since and I'm getting satisfied. One thing I want to point out is, you see, Wole Soyinka, if Professor Wole Soyinka were to come from, let me say, from the East, he would have been tried retrogressively for the offenses he committed in 1967. In 1967, Wole Soyinka marked himself, carried gun, went to Western House of Assembly, Western Radio Station, and he took the recorded tape of a governor. Today, Wole Soyinka is the one talking, and Yorubas will listen. I classify Wole Soyinka on the same platform with Asari Dokubo, honestly. So somebody like that, he's having a reasoning paralysis. Doesn't know how to reason anymore because of his age. And it may be for the time he was locked up in the prison. He must have stayed long in the prison that it affected his brain. Now, coming to pastors, You see, in the past, during the war, during the Biafran War, all the properties left by Igbos in this Lagos, they got them back. The Yorubas even collected rent from the properties and gave to them as they don't have money to come back. I don't know what is responsible for this sudden spin of the coin, that every Yoruba man that makes prophecy, that prophecy is against an Igbo man. I don't know what has happened. The Yorubas, the Igbos did not get their properties in rivers, but they got all their properties in this Lagos. Even I was in the school when the war started, and the Yoruba man I lived in, the Yoruba woman I lived in her house, asked me to stay. But because of fear of what happened there, here and there, I said, no, I must go. And it was the woman that took me to Ijeoma before I now navigated my way to Asaba. So I don't know what is responsible for this sudden spin of hatred that anywhere, any Yoruba pastor makes prophecy. That prophecy is against P2B. And P2B has become a tree that bears fruits now. And everybody will be stoning to pluck seeds.
All right, thank you.
The tree that doesn't carry fruit, nobody talks about that tree. So they are giving P2B more advert and more recognition.
All right.
I have to rest my case. Thank you very much.
Rest your case. Thank you so very much. Let's get to read some comments now, maybe one, and then we take more calls, okay? Don't worry. The court nowadays is a laughing arena. That will be an article, not waste their money on approaching judiciary and face their business. Yakubu sent in that from Oshodi. CP, you are even wasting your time reacting to Ayodede's so-called prophecy. If you give a serious thought to what you people are calling prophecy, you will realize that they are mere calculative prediction and not prophecy. Comrade Godfrey sent in that from Surulere. Okay? Just keep this civil. Keep this civil. Don't start at all. Okay, let me see this comment now. Please, what? No, don't say that. Let's go here first. Hello, good afternoon to you.
Hello, they're coming Judy. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Yes, this is Monday calling you, sir.
All right.
Well done, job.
Thank you.
You see, I don't have much to say. What I want to say is that by their fruits you shall know them, as City said. Everybody is looking for their own belly. Politics and pastor and preaching is not the same thing. They should get it straight. If Obi win today, they will still praise him. If Atiku win, they will still praise him. Because of he's a Yoruba man, and that man of God is a Yoruba man. That's why they are playing religion. See, let us keep Bible aside if you want to get quarrel. If you want to be holy, you will be holy. Obi is a gentleman. Let us leave that as a politics. Politics is a dirty thing. A man of God should be genuine. The time that Rea Bonki come to Africa, there is nothing like he preach about a politician or talk against it. We are reading newspaper, we are reading dictionary. We know this history of man of God. But some of them are older than the country. That's why they know how to enter them, know how to talk, so that they will see their belly, because they come for their belly kingdom. Everybody is fighting for his belly. But we should get it straight. Not that he will be saying about God. God knows everything. They don't fight for their pocket. They don't come to criticize them. Thank you very much.
It's okay. Thank you so very much to you for calling. I think we have to start wrapping up now. But then let me read this comment. This person said, good afternoon. All these political pastors and clergymen, God will expose them. With time, they will would all be disgraced. Let them tell us who will win Kogi, Imo, and Bayelsa State. I think you called earlier to say this, right? Thank you so very much. Okay, CP, your final shot before we wrap up.
Well, while we are waiting for the outcome of the Supreme Court, people should try as much as possible to be law-abiding and respect the constituted authority. Right now, there is so much hardship they should endure, while the people in government should do their best to get solution, at least for the time being, in terms of not just palliatives, in terms of seeking areas that will help the masses, like flooding the transportation system with buses, high capacity buses, with trains, with boats, secured boats to convey people to their various destinations. And for the masses too, let the costs of using those transport systems be as cheap as possible.
Okay.
At least that will solve one big problem for the masses. And at the same time, I want to encourage Nigerians to be prayerful and be their brother's keeper. They should have the spirit of unity. They should fear God, and at the same time, be their brother's keeper. This divisiveness should not be allowed to creep into our national life, especially at this point in time. Everybody is not a politician. They will not, because of what the political actors are doing in the field, begin to transfer it to the people, the general public, based on either religion or tribe. We are supposed to pass that level at this point in time. They should visit what happened in Burundi and Rwanda in the 90s. We don't look forward to things like that anymore. And those of us who have also experienced the civil war, they know what it means. Let us look for a way to conquer this monster of insurgency, terrorism, armed banditry, and kidnapping that has been ravaging some parts of Nigeria. I'm talking of southeast, northeast, northwest, and north central. And at least of recent, the south-south. So those are the areas we should focus on security and the well-being of the citizens.
Thank you so very much, CP.
Thank you too.
For talking to us this afternoon. Well, in case you don't know, there is a conversation going on these programs, WhatsApp platform, all right? We have a WhatsApp platform where we talk extensively, okay? Yeah, you can belong, you can just get in there and also share your own opinion, okay? All you need to do is just to add me to this number, 070-121-464-54. Yeah, a very beautiful conversation is going on just right there, right now. It's, like I said, it's for this particular program, Matters. We discuss further there. Some of these comments you guys cannot drop here. Well, you can talk to, you can share it there. Okay, so just add me to 070-121-464-54. 070-121-464-54. Just add me, and someone is going to add you to the group. Okay, thank you so very much. But when you get to the group, obey the rules and regulations. Okay, thank you so very much. Again, the number is 070-121-464-54. My name is Jude, Ikami Jude. On social media, I am Ikami Jude, IKAMIJUDEH, one word, okay? I love you so much. Do have a beautiful and a wonderful day today. I'll see you tomorrow, the open mic edition of Matters. I'm out of here. Lagos, good afternoon.